Hello everyone, and welcome to part 1 of my micro devlog series for the upcoming public art game Holly Holecat Storytime Jamboree, hosted by the Herrick District Library as part of our Lift Every Voice initiative coming this winter. Holly Holecat Storytime Jamboree is going to be a short game about collecting and reading and sharing stories from the community. In this section, we'll be talking about controlling our character. For this game, since most of the core gameplay loop is about running around and finding stories, I figured that there should be an aspect of movement itself that's fun. This brings me to our character movement method, the active ragdoll. Active ragdolls work in two parts. A ragdoll component that has all of the mass and actual muscles of the character, and the animator component that plays the actual animation that the ragdoll is trying to match. This two-part approach allows us to continue using a more traditional built-in animation control system without having to make something entirely custom, while allowing for a dynamic physics-based control over a character and still having that fun physics-based interaction. However, as you can see, if I only have an active ragdoll, my model flops onto the ground. This leads us to an important piece of the puzzle, the balance controller. This keeps the player upright by applying an upward force to the player's hips, chest, and head. However, if I apply too much, they'll end up floating like a balloon. So, instead of that, what we're going to do is only apply a little bit if they're already standing up, and apply a lot if they've fallen over. That way, we have a character that is responsive to their environment around them. Lastly, for controlling the hands, when the player clicks on the screen, it places an invisible target at that point in space at the same height as the player. Then, the player's hands are pulled in that direction. If the hands collide with a movable object, they then create what's called a fixed joint, which is basically a very short rope to that object. It exists for as long as the mouse is held down, which allows the player to pick up, hold, and even move an object. Then, once the mouse is released, the fixed joint disappears. I hope you've enjoyed getting this little peek behind the scenes on how these things happen. And I hope to see y'all once it is out playing Holly Holecat and sharing your stories and reading the stories of everyone else in the community. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a good day.